Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything you see out here. Read all about it. Read all about it. Listen to the world. Listen to the world. Read all about it. Read all about it. Listen to the world. Listen to the world.
Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Alun Cochrane, Chris Addison, Hugh and Gary Delaney. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Labour's two Eds, Miliband and Balls, but what does MFIB stand for?
Is it Miliband Fondle's Invisible Buttocks?
Is Miliband so dull that the headline is, in fact, Massive Flag in Background?
Is it Martian Freak Invades Britain?
Is he apologising to Young Labour for their poll ratings, saying, my fault, innit, bruv?
Is it just simply MFI bollocks?
Why would they use that picture to randomly take on MFI?
Two wooden characters.
But if we're just going to go with ones that have nothing to do with the picture, why can't we just say, my fanny is burning? It's the sentence that goes with MFIB.
By the look of the flag, he's trying to knock some sense into a BNP rally. Is he saying, Mo Farah is black?
Hang on, Mo Farah is British. I could understand him trying to convince him of that, but surely he doesn't have to convince even the BNP that Mo Farah is black.
They are in serious denial. I mean, this summer has been very difficult for them.
White man went very well in the 5,000 metres. What are you talking about?
Or is it just quite simple? Is it man focuses in background?
Is he trying to appeal to, is he trying to show himself to be a bit more down to earth? And he's going, Mallorca, Faliraki, Ibiza, brilliant.
Move to a correct answer, please.
Mowgli's friend is Baloo.
Is it Martin Freeman is Bilbo?
No, it's not. I'll give the end answer Miliband. So Miliband something battle.
Miliband fears irritating battle.
No.
Bow.
No.
Irritable
no,
bowel.
Not bowel.
I think it's Miliband fights image battle.
Very good. Thank you very much, Hugh. Okay, the answer I was looking for was Miliband fights image battle. This is the news that Ed Miliband has launched a campaign to make himself better known to voters, embracing his geek image and comprehensive school education. It comes in a week when one poll suggests that 63% of the electorate do not see him as a future Prime Minister.
The poll actually said, though, it said people didn't regard him as prime ministerial as David Cameron. And you're thinking, well, that's probably not much of a surprise because David Cameron is, in fact, the Prime Minister.
Yes.
We need to be a bit careful throwing stones about Ed Miliband appearing like a bit of a dork. If there are 7 men on television who don't need to be throwing stones in this particular glass house, it's this 7-man up you to the survival of the fittest theory, right? This is not the pot calling the kettle black. This is the kettle calling another kettle a kettle.
To be fair, only one of us does a programme about maths.
Yes, well... What policies have Labour touted at the conference this week?
He's promised more help for first-time buyers, and my parents helped me buy my first flat, and I can't thank them enough, it turns out.
He wants to cut stamp duty, doesn't he, to promote growth?
Yep.
And you think, well, it might work. I mean, what was Cameron's best idea to promote growth? Everybody should build a conservatory. And you're thinking, that is not going to kick-start the British economy. It might kick-start the Polish economy.
He's also going to sell 4G. Apparently they're going to sell 4G. I didn't know even we had 4G yet. I know people have talked about this thing, but they might as well go, and we shall sell the nation's reserves of unobtainium. The money we receive from that.
Miliband said they're going to break up the banks, which is actually a policy that genuinely could solve the financial crisis, as long as they go back in time and do it before 2008.
One banking reform that I would like to see is for the people who work at the Halifax, stop pissing about with that radio station and do some work.
if they did break up the banks, that Miliband is the sort of bloke that would just end up with a pen with one of those little chains on it. Out of everything in a bank.
Here's a picture of Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls, but can anyone give me a phrase to sum this up?
Well, obviously, good to see that Wayne Rooney is back to fitness.
Is he thinking to himself? Is he just thinking to himself, why, when my name is Balls, do I keep having photographs like these?
Is Mr. Ed Balls playing football in a match between MPs and journalists at the conference? Apart from playing football, what has Ed Balls been doing recently?
He's a politician.
He's been...
Other than that...
He has been sickening normal people everywhere by learning to play the piano.
Yes,
Did you
to
see
what
that?
level?
Grade 1.
Grade 1, yes.
And the grade 1 is recognising that that's not a piano.
This is a trick test. That's not a piano. You have passed.
I reckon he just heard mention of chopsticks and thought there might be some food available.
If he does learn chopsticks, that'll be handy for when he's Chancellor and has to beg money off the Chinese.
You really, if you go into the Chinese and go, honourable Chinese president. Cling, 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 cling,
They will go, you took an interest in our culture.
Ding, 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 ding. That's as much as I know. Okay.
Dara, do you not think he would have lost them with honourable Chinese person? Opening with that.
I'm not in the diplomatic corps. What do you say?
It'd be like arriving in the Congo on a diplomatic mission with a crate of umbongo. I believe you enjoy this beverage.
We're told this is all you drink here in the Congo, which has been renamed for how long?
Well, it's now called the Democratic Republic of Umbongo.
By the way, who's he doing the test with?
Lots of 5-year-old and 6-year-old children.
6-year-old children. 6-year-old child, Ed Balls. 6-year-old child, 6-year-old child.
Which is creepy. As a 6-year-old child, you'd be thinking, you've been told, as you wait in that room, if you fail this, you're coming back again. And then a 45-year-old man... Even as a 6-year-old, you're thinking, oh my God, this guy is an idiot.
Wow, they take this shit seriously right here. Please let me go. Please don't make me do the exam again.
I do, in a way, think it's commendable that he's done it and it's good for him to have a release, but I also think it's a really bad thing for a busy politician to do in a sort of connecting with the people way, because people that have got normal jobs are then going, well, I haven't got time to learn the fucking piano. How have you got time? Well, he should really do what Cameron does and just get pissed and lose his kids and stuff like that. And then people are like, oh yeah, he's one of mine.
In other news, what did David Cameron do recently that no other serving British Prime Minister has ever done?
Samantha Cameron.
Yeah. That's true. But he also went on Letterman in the States, didn't he?
Letterman was trying to trip him up by asking about British history, which is tricky because we've got a lot more of it than they have, right? And, you know, American history exams are really easy. They just have questions like, on what date was September the 11th?
He did do all right, but he didn't know what Magna Carta meant, when in fact what he should have said, obviously, is what Magna Carta means is that we had civilised democratic government some 200 years before your country was discovered.
And also, I'd imagine, had he said that, it wouldn't quite have gone as well as an appearance as he would have liked. David Cameron was on a complete charm offensive. Look at you, your small, poxy country. Useless. We're older than you. Older. Feel my history.
He could. I think he could also have gone, you say your name is Letterman. In my country, we would call you Postman.
I'm sorry. He wasn't going on as a Bond villain. That would be cheek. Kill him now!
They love us as villains. They always have English people as villains. They don't know who he is. This was we could have sent anybody. We should have sent Alan Rickman. Hello.
Do you know what he came out to?
Yeah, I know what he came out to. He came out to loads of dry ice, and they said it represented a London fog when we haven't had a London fog for over 100 years. That's the stereotype image that those Americans believe. What? The fat, dumb redneck. The closest we've currently got to a London fog is Boris Johnson at the moment. Either that or Amy Childs from The Only Way Is Essex.
What Boris Johnson did say was that he got it wrong deliberately because he didn't want to seem like he had Latin coming out of every orifice. Now, that sounds creepy, doesn't it?
The thing about Boris Johnson, though, isn't it, is everybody thinks he's quintessentially English, but in fact he was born in America, named after a Russian, and looks like a Swedish person who's eaten another Swedish person.
At the end, and the points go to Chris, Hugh and Gary. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Prince of Wales.
Good God, it's Margaret Beckett, isn't it? From the First Labour government. Do you know, I'm beginning to wonder how recent this footage actually is. Oh, lovely, a train in a box. That's odd. Mummy normally gives me a Twix and a lump of organic cheese. Still, never mind, stick that on eBay. So this will be your driver, Dave. Hello, Dave. I love you. So you drive this, do you? Yes, I bet you've got a tale or two to tell. Yeah, well, actually, it has been hairy a couple of times. I bet it has. Yes. Do you know, I quite fancy doing your job. Yes, and I quite fancy doing your job. Well, that's not going to fucking happen, is it? Can I have a go? No, I'm afraid it's against regulations. Is it? Is it? Now, Dave, think very carefully. Yes, I think that's the right answer. Nobody wants to be force-fed organic biscuits. Anyway, let's have some fun. This is an impression. This is the British economy. It's going backwards. Yes, I'm real weak. Don't worry, I understand about trains. Now, tell me, Dave, can this go sideways? Backwards and forwards. It's backwards and forwards. Why don't we just concentrate on driving the train? So just push the lever forward if you could. It's a lever, is it? I thought it was an enormous licorice allsort. What do? Just push it forward, do I? Oh, yes, look, we're going. Well, this is a piece of piss, Dave. You're stealing a living. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, my arm's stuck. I think, hang on, Dave, my arm's locked. David, my arm. Dave, my arm, I can't stop. My arm's locked. His arm's locked. My arm's locked. I can't. Oh, my God, where are the brakes? Where are the brakes? They're out of control. I can't stop it. Got you there, didn't I, Dave? I see you.
Well done, you did us. Now we play a round called Wakey Wakey, Rory Muckleroy. This game involves Ed and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is, however, I think is the funniest. Okay, here we go. Let's have the first topic, please. The first subject is parenting.
I'll take this. We have 2 children in our house. 2 boys. One is 4 months old and the other is 21 months old. Yeah. We didn't want there to be too big a gap, so my wife had them both by cesarean. To be honest with you, the 4-month-old, he's already more of a man than I've ever been, because he's already mastered the art of the casual vomit, something I could never do. When I'm sick, it's a biblical event, it's coming out my nose, I'm pulling muscles in my back, but he's so cool with it. He'll puke and then he'll look at you like you just did it. You know. What's this? That was you? Don't think so. Doesn't sound like it. But it's amazing the pressure that can build up inside a small child. It's got the puke flies out and the piss flies out and the shit. Honestly, if I was to feed him creosote instead of milk, I could do me fence with him. It's amazing. The thing we've been careful about, though, is even though I have 2 boys, I didn't name either of them after me. Because I didn't want to have that big Ed, little Ed thing. Because when you call him one of your sons Little Ed, it just sounds too much like you're talking about your cock. Oh, Little Ed's been misbehaving. It just seems a bit... Honey, will you just hold Little Ed? Just hold Little Ed for just a minute. Hold Little Ed. Oh, Little Ed's been sick on you. It's just not right.
Thank you very much, Ed. Okay, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Okay, let's spin that wheel. The topic is celebrity.
Celebrity. They've started a celebrity magazine for the elderly. It's called Hello, Hello, Hello. Uri Geller, surprisingly hard to stab. Malcolm X chose that name rather than admit he'd accidentally put a kiss at the end of a text message. I went to see Walt Disney on Ice. Bit disappointing, it's just an old bloke in a freezer. The new president of France said this week that English speakers were arrogant in their refusal to learn foreign languages. At least I think that's what he said. But it all just sounded like haw-hee-haw, haw-hee-haw. And remember, that's not racist if it's about the French. I'd have £5 on the Dalai Lama if I was a Tibetan man. When they buried the man who invented Tetris, the whole cemetery disappeared. As well as 7 years in prison here, Abu Hamza could be deported to the United States where he could face the electric chair. But on the plus side, if he is electrocuted, at least he can just stick his hook in the air and pretend to be a bumper car.
Well done, guys. Points to both of you. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Gary, which category would you like?
I would like sport, please.
OK, the category is sport. And the answer is 14 and a half. What is the question?
Is it how many weeks does it now take Mickey Rourke to get an erection?
Is it what glass slipper size? What glass slipper size would have made Prince Charming go, OK, I'll leave it?
Is it how many pubes do the band One Direction have?
Is it how many months does Wayne Rooney think there are in a year?
Is it how many shades of grey are there really?
How many minutes did it take to write Gangnam Style?
Is it how many pints?
What about this?
How many pints would the 7 dwarves get through if Snow White was there and all of them were driving? Get that, eh? Get the maths of that.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
2 pints each to be under the limit, plus a half for the lady, you know.
Is it how far into Jamie Oliver's 15-minute meals did I realise I didn't have the right ingredients?
How many hairs has Dara got left?
No, that's cruel.
We're not going to win that.
How many does it need to be cruel like that?
Is it, in fact, how many points did the European Ryder Cup team get?
Very good. Well done. Thank you very much, Aaron Foster. Yes. And the question I was looking for was, what was Europe's winning score in the Ryder Cup? This is news that Europe's golfers retained the Ryder Cup after producing a stunning comeback in a tense and exciting final day in Chicago. After trailing the United States 10-6 after 2 days' play, they produced an outstanding performance to win by 14.5 points to the United States' 13.5 points. Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, the course was all set up, of course, for the Americans. They had very long fairways for their big hitters, not too much rough, so as they play their iron shots, and very few female spectators to distract Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, of course, who lost the foursomes, which came as a surprise because he'd had so much practice.
I've never seen such a thrilling game of golf, and I didn't see this one either.
Do you love the American names, though? Because that's what I like most about it. Their captain was called Davis Love the Third. And I thought, that is a great name, but do I need to know that? That you love the third? I mean, I love the 18th, but don't go on about it.
I'd like Dara to say it, though.
What, Davis Love the Third?
Oh,
yeah, I know you wanted me to say.
Sport.
You wanted me to say deterred, and then we're dancing with a pig under my arm.
Yeah. That is exactly what I want.
By the way, the Americans were 10-6 up, which is till then a historically unassailable lead, practically away from home. But they had a rousing speech on the night before.
Yeah. George
For who?
Bush.
George
W. Bush.
George W. Bush.
On the Saturday night, when it looked like the fight was won, George W. Bush came along and said the fight was won, and then the next day the fight was lost. How unlike George W. Bush to say the fight has been won, and then it turns out it's not. The US team can count themselves lucky they're not still on the course in bunkers doing that with mortars flying over their heads.
Yeah, Bush walks out and goes, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Cut to 2 years later, well, we hope to get our golfers out of the course some stage. We want to bring them back for Christmas. That's what we're hoping. Who needed a police car to take him to the first tee?
Rory McIlroy.
Wow, very good. Yes, you're absolutely right.
His excuse was that the coverage on the telly was timed as being an hour on Eastern time, when in fact he was in Illinois. So it was an hour. There was an hour's difference. But the fact is, he was still watching the Ryder's Cup on the telly. He was still there, going, "Oh, what's on? Golf. I love golf." That's the Where are these people up to? A lot of people standing around looking at their watches. What's he
playing him today?
Where's Rory? When this guy turns up, is he going to be? Wow.
Ding! Penny drop. Here's a picture of the European team celebrating their win. Can you sum this up with a phrase or a caption?
Yep, what a load of swingers.
This is what's happening in the 1970s right now.
I think they're twisting again. You know, like we did last summer.
Is this Marks and Spencer's launches its new looks like a dick range?
Yeah.
This year's lineup for Strictly looks a bit shit.
Yeah.
Is it Gangnam Style? Gangnam Style.
It's a version of Gangnam Style. It's in fact Gingham Style.
You think they look happy? You just see the bloke in the jacket shop. I sold them! I sold them!
Somewhere there's a branch of Garfunkels with no tablecloths.
In other news, what are you now able to do in this country at sunrise, midnight, or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Watch this show on Dave.
Yes.
You can get married 24 hours,
Yes,
can't
you can.
And Blackpool Tower say that they're very keen to have marriages at midnight. Of course, the advantage of getting married at midnight in Blackpool is that you can't actually see Blackpool.
I think it's the logical next step, because there's already civil partnerships, so gay people can get married, and now weddings at 3 a.m, so ugly people can get married.
The Home Office have said about this 24-hour wedding thing is that it means that they've increased the amount of choice people can have when planning their weddings. Right now, there's a nation full of engaged men going, "Oh, good, another choice." What I needed was more things to discuss in the planning of this poxy wedding.
It's a weird ceremony to be able to do at 3 in the morning. To me, I think, you know, there's a definite market for 24-hour divorces or 3 a.m. christenings. The baby's awake anyway, Dara.
Very true. Very true.
You don't really think of it as a christening. I didn't think of it as a christening, more the wake we held for our sex life.
First, you don't have to get married in church anymore. Then you get married at night. Who is this benefiting?
Vampires.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's exactly. It's just going to be a load of Twilight-themed weddings. Oh, shite. That's all it's going to be. At the end of that round, the point's going to Alun and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
They think it's all over, but Wayne Rooney is telling his hair surgeons that they've missed a bit.
So just 2 laps to go, and then these dancers from Stringfellows will be heading home for the night.
Tragedy strikes the Winter Olympics as the ski jumping is accidentally held next to a clay pigeon chute.
And that's a 200-yard drive. Colin Montgomery there, too lazy to walk to get the paper.
Well, with 200 metres to go, he is on the shoulder of the Ethiopian. I don't know if it's legal for him to be there, but I'm going to slow him down a bit.
Lewis Hamilton still leads, but there's trouble up ahead as Dick Dastardly and Muttley are digging a hole under turn 17.
She can see the line now. She can see the line. She's definitely pregnant.
Welcome back to the women's shot put. Here's the Lithuanian. My, what a pretty little thing.
Well, let's go over to Epsom for the 2:30. There are 16 runners. Everyone else is riding a horse. What a race this is going to be.
And after Andy Murray's recent appearance on television's Mock the Week, onto centre court we see the lolloping frame of Dara O'Brien.
And that's an incredible right hook there from Abu Hamza.
So, Boris Johnson, are you enjoying the Olympics? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Claire Balding, are you enjoying the Olympics?
And there was some confusion earlier on centre court when Andy Murray thought he'd signed one of those giant novelty tennis balls, and it turned out to be a fat kid's face with jaundice.
And the England team sticking with the classic 4-4-2 formation. This really is the most organised orgy I've ever seen.
And Serena Williams remains unseeded for a second year. I can't help thinking that a bit of lippy and a push-up bra...
Okay, the next topic is bad things to say at a job interview.
What do I think of nepotism? That's a good question, Dad.
Yeah, I served for 10 years in Afghanistan. I was in the Taliban.
I like to see myself as a people person, although some people have called me a trafficker.
So I'm just checking. You definitely don't do a CRB check.
You ask a lot of questions.
Sorry, could you repeat the question? My ankle bracelet's beeping really loudly.
Well, I am a fully qualified geography teacher, and the school's next door, is it?
If it were to take you on as an accountant, how do you think you'd cope with all the extra fanny you'd be getting?
Do I like jogging? Oh, I thought he said, do I like dogging? The answer's still yes.
You've demonstrated a bad attitude, an inability to listen, and a complete lack of interest in others. Welcome to Ryanair's customer service team.
Why do I want to be a vet? Ketamine.
Well, they gave me a 2-2 at university, so I just thought I'd wear it to the interview.
I'd say my three strongest points are attention to detail, a determination to see things through, yada, yada, yada.
Yes, I think I would be the perfect candidate to make the platform announcer.
Why do I want to join the army? I just love a man in uniform.
What would I do if I won the lottery? Tell you to fuck off.
Okay, that's it. End of that round. The points go to Chris, Hugh and Gary. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Chris Addison, Hugh and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Alun Cochrane. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara. Good night.